Welcome back to the garage. This is episode 7 of our Intro to Crypto series. Before we go any further, let's reset the map so we know exactly where we are. Episode 1 was Bitcoin the engine, why it exists, why supply is limited, why price moves. Episode 2 was exchanges the dealership, how money gets in and out, why KYC exists. Episode 3 was wallets the keys, custody, control, not your keys, not your crypto. Episode 4 was DeFi, the system, why it exists, and what removing middlemen actually means. Episode 5 was smart contracts, the transmission, code that executes automatically, no emotion, just rules. Episode 6 was liquidity and lending, the first time we put the car in drive and looked at Uniswap and Aave using real numbers. That brings us to today, vaults. But before we go deeper, quick note for anyone who just tuned in and is thinking, what is going on in the garage? Relax. The garage hasn't changed. We still do our normal content. This Intro to Crypto series is just another segment we're running so more people can understand what's happening under the hood before they start pressing buttons. We want to bring more people in because a lot of people are curious about crypto but don't ask questions. They don't want to sound dumb. They don't want to admit they don't understand. So they guess. That's how people get wrecked. All right, back to it. Last episode, we put the car in drive. Today, we're turning on automation. Let's talk about vaults. A vault is an automated yield strategy. That's it. It's a smart contract that takes your assets and automatically routes them through strategies designed to earn yield and compound it. Let's use a real example. You have 1 ETH worth 2.0. In episode 6, you had 2 options: provide liquidity manually on Uniswap or lend your ETH on Aave. Both require monitoring, watching price, watching risk, harvesting rewards. A vault changes that. Instead of manually harvesting rewards and reinvesting them, the vault does it automatically. It collects rewards, it swaps them, it redeploys them, it compounds them over and over. Now let's talk numbers. So this makes sense. Let's say the strategy earns 10% annually in ETH terms. If you leave your 1 ETH sitting idle, you earn nothing. If you manually harvest rewards once a month, you reinvest periodically. But if a vault compounds daily, your rewards start earning rewards faster. That's compounding. If your 1 ETH grows to 1.05 ETH, now you're earning yield on 1.05 instead of 1. Over time, that snowball effect matters. But here's the key rule. Vaults do not create yield. They optimize existing yield. If the strategy underneath earns 8%, the vault doesn't magically turn it into 30% without adding risk. It just makes the 8% more efficient. Now let's add reality. Let's say ETH drops from 2.0 to 1.500. Your vault might still earn 10% in ETH terms, but your dollar value dropped 25%. The vault didn't fail. The market moved. Yield is measured in tokens. Your life is measured in dollars. Understand both. Now let's talk layered risk. When you deposit into a vault, you are not just trusting one smart contract. You are trusting the vault contract, the underlying strategy contract, the liquidity protocol, the lending protocol, and the reward token system. That's stacked exposure. Automation doesn't remove risk, it automates it. Think of it like farming. Manual yield is you tending crops yourself. You water, you check soil, you adjust fertilizer. A vault is an automated irrigation system. It waters perfectly, it distributes evenly, it runs efficiently. But if a drought hits, automation doesn't create rain. If a storm floods the field, automation doesn't stop the storm. If pests show up, automation doesn't kill them, it just keeps watering. Vaults optimize the system, they don't control the weather. Now let's break down the real risks clearly. Smart contract risk, bugs or exploits. Strategy risk if the underlying protocol fails. Liquidity risk if users rush to exit. Incentive risk if rewards dry up. Market volatility if the asset price moves hard. And remember, vaults execute automatically. No pause, no hesitation, no emotional override. Smart contracts do exactly what they're programmed to do. So how should beginners think about vaults? Start small. Understand the strategy first. If you wouldn't manually do the strategy yourself, you shouldn't automate it. Automation magnifies discipline. It also magnifies ignorance. Here's a clean breakdown. Manual yield equals more control and more effort. Vault yield equals less effort and more automation, but layered risk. Neither is automatically better. Depends on your knowledge, your time commitment, and your risk tolerance. Now zoom out. Bitcoin was the engine. DeFi is the system. Smart contracts are the transmission. Liquidity and lending were manual driving. Vaults or automation were officially moving, but we are still not racing, because the next level, and this is where people really get wrecked, is leverage and perpetual futures. That's not just driving. That's adding nitrous. And nitrous doesn't forgive mistakes. Next episode, we're talking leverage. How borrowing amplifies gains, how it amplifies losses faster, and how quickly things unwind when markets move. If this series is helping you understand crypto instead of guessing, hit like, subscribe, or follow. And share this with someone who's trying to learn but doesn't want to ask out of fear of sounding dumb. Understanding beats pretending every time. Same garage, same rules. Automation engaged. Let's keep building.